November 2004. 100 miles off the coast of San Diego, a group of U.S. warships are conducting routine training exercises when they detect a number of unidentified flying objects near Catalina Island.
They were picking up multiple targets on the radar system, but they had a new system they were testing. So the theory was that it was just glitches. So they rebooted, but sure enough, these targets showed up again. And this goes on for a series of some days. And then they vectored jets to go and investigate.
As Navy F-18 fighter jets approach the area where the UFOs have been detected on radar, the pilots see a white, oval-shaped object that has no wings and resembles a giant tic-tac. But then suddenly, it rapidly descends 80,000 feet in less than a second and hovers above the surface of the water. Naval Officer Ryan Weigelt was stationed on the nearby USS Princeton on the day of the encounter.
I was called to the bridge by the CO, and when I got up to the bridge, the whole office was much more crowded and chaotic than normal. People were raising their voice on seeing some of the things that they were seeing. It was a very excited atmosphere. I noticed that to my left-hand side was a video monitor where the FLIR footage was being fed into the Princeton, so I could see what the jets were seeing. On my right-hand side, I am watching them on a radar screen that gives information on altitude and speed and heading, and seeing what I saw. It's impossible for anything that we own or have created to withstand the G-forces that would be created from doing any type of thrust like what this tic-tac was doing.
Two of the pilots involved in the tic-tac incident, Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, have stated that under the infamous tic-tac, there was an area of water that was roiling as if there was this object under the waves. And this object was about the size of a Boeing 737.
Navy eyewitnesses have reported that the tic-tac was moving erratically above the surface of the water, as though it appeared to be interacting with the unidentified object located beneath the waves. Moments later, the tic-tac made a series of seemingly impossible maneuvers to evade the Navy jets before accelerating away at thousands of miles per hour. And the pilots claim that when they tried to get a second look at the underwater object, it had somehow vanished.
I am a person who needs to see to really believe, and seeing what I saw during that time frame, I think any rational-minded person would be somewhat alarmed that there is this technology out there that is far superior to us.
That technology isn't something we have. So if not us, who or what? And what we're hearing about now is just the tip of the iceberg. There have been consistently a lot of reports of unidentified objects under the ocean. People have seen them from the shore, going into the sea and coming out of the sea.
We've all heard of UFOs because they fly in our atmosphere, but what happens if they can hit the oceans and go underwater? These are USOs, unidentified submerged objects, are objects that have the ability to plunge right into the ocean and disappear. This is something that we cannot duplicate with our technology. And so these objects are of very intense interest because it means that a new technology is being harnessed by some unknown party. They could be even, perhaps, extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial USOs? Flying into and out of the world's oceans? For some, that may sound like something out of science fiction. But curiously, more than a decade after the Tic-Tac incident, the United States Navy continues to detect USOs off the coast of Southern California. In July of 2019, Navy aircraft flying in the same area recorded video which appears to show an unidentified flying object disappearing into the ocean.
What was splashed? Mark bearing and range.
What's really interesting about this is that all this is happening in a fairly small geographical area. So you've got a series of encounters happening off the coast of San Diego. To have all this going on in one very concentrated spot, one has to say, is this just a coincidence or is there a connection?